Hello again, everybody. Sebastian here with another Watcher of Rome's video. Here I am in the test server. I am playing around with Jeera, which is one of the heroes that is in the Ancient Summon and Banner this weekend, along with Pradius. So most likely, if you are going to be chasing Pradius, you may be able to land her. She is a Northern and Arbor fighter that has been introduced now into the game. She is fairly known mostly because of her ability to increase her max HP, especially based on the talent. And then the higher this hero's HP, the vulnerability increases up to 30%. What makes her really stronger, not only in terms of the ability of her dealing damage, but in terms of survivability as well, is that when you activate the ultimate and it becomes activated, it restores 75% of her HP. During this skill, it increases the max HP by 50%. Not only that, if you skill her, you can get an additional 20% on that. So you're going to then get damage dealt increase by 175%, and the attack interval will increase by 30%, all lasting to 20 seconds. And if you wanna build some rage into her to get to that second ultimate quickly, you can do that. But once you activate the ultimate a second time, it's going to be permanent. She will have that much HP. So it will make her hard to kill. But remember her passive as well. She will inflict this retribution. Now, one of the things is that it's labeled as a debuff. And when I was in Drake's Chasm doing the test that I'm going to be showing you, I never did see like a debuff icon for this particular debuff that she is applying. So this is one of those things that we'll see if they eventually down the line they introduce it into the game so you can actually keep track of it. But I was just taking it as, okay, she is receiving the damage, she is inflicting the retribution, and until the developers give us an answer on that, I can't tell you for sure if this was working as intended. But in I'll do some PvE, other PvE stuff to see if these debuffs can be noticeable on another boss. But I definitely did not see her apply this on Drake's Chasm or Semra. So the whole thing about the retribution is that she will add an additional damage based on her max HP, 4% of the max HP, and all damage received from enemies not inflicted from retribution is reduced by 30%. Again, that's what makes her kind of hard to kill. So you can kind of, if you wanted to, you could use her like Elder, like I use Elder in my Forerunners account. I sometimes build him really tanky, but I do give him some critical rating, critical damage, just so he does a little bit of damage. And she can definitely do the same thing that an Elder does. Elder, his survivability is the shields. Hers is going to be just this ability to get to her ultimate quickly. That's essentially what's going to be the difference between these two. So then if she changes the targets and removes the retribution inflicted on the previous target. So yeah, the retribution can only be in one target if she is targeting multiple. But everything about her kit, yes, is either single target arena because she does get that buff in arena. But given that she also has a defense penetrated damage that is equal to 100% total damage to the hero that has been taken previously, right? So every fourth attack that she's doing, she is ignoring a little bit of defense. Everything about her kit just says she is for sustained battles and she needs to take damage. What are two areas where that is happening? Guild bosses. It's going to be Drake's Chasm and it's going to be Semra in the Titanic Ruins. Here is A0 Jeera. All testing was done with A0 Jeera because essentially what I wanted to see is just what would be the best build for her for this setting, guild boss. For other situations in PvE, definitely you can change your build to make sure that it survives a little bit longer. But the major thing here is I just wanted to see how much damage I could get out of her compare it to the other fighter in the Arbiters, which is Talon, and also I wanted to compare her to other Northerners, just to see what her skill would be. How much damage can we expect if we decide to use her in either one of these settings, so either one of the guild bosses, okay? So for the first one, I want to kind of just hybrid. It was like a hybrid build. So you can see here, Immortals set pieces, but they did have attack bonus. That's something that I was looking here for this. Given the limited pieces that I have on the test server here, I did sacrifice some critical damage. But just to set a baseline, I gave her 77,000 HP with 21,000 attack. So that's our base right now, just to see how well she does. And so let's now go to the guild boss. Let's run the battle and see what the end results are before we try another build. Okay, so here we are on Nightmare 4 of the Drake's Chasm. Again, all I'm looking for is just going to be how much damage she can do throughout the battle. We're not trying to optimize here for 50,000 or anything like that. I just wanted to see how she can compare to Nocturne and Falcia from the Northerners, and we had Talon in here, and I put in Alistar for the damage reduction, and it's not very crucial as to how much damage she's doing. All I'm doing is just trying to compare how all these heroes fare in terms of damage. Falcia, Talon, Nocturne, they're all in attack-based builds, just like we customarily would use in Guild Boss. Nocturne is in Soulbound, and Falcia and Talon are in IR sets. And you saw me here for this example here. I'm using Jeera in that kind of hybrid build because I just wanted to set the base, and then we'll go and either add more HP or we'll try to bring back just the attack base build that we customarily see on heroes. Now, for this example tier 2, one of the things that I wanted to note is that one of the artifacts that I placed on her was that Forsaken artifact, and I'll show that at the end as well here out of this battle. Just because my idea was that if the artifact could boost her HP, we probably would get a little bit more damage out of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just fast forward this a little bit. So I do apologize if you do like to watch these battles, but as you see me here, I'm trying to activate ultimates, and I'm also setting the baseline because the other builds that I'm gonna try, I'm just gonna hit auto. Hopefully it does the same moves that I did here in the first time, just to mimic that, and then we can kind of compare numbers there at the end of each one of these battles. So let me continue here fast forwarding, and we'll get to the end so you guys can see the damage card, so you can kind of see how everything pans out. So we got about 2 seconds, 3 seconds left. So we're getting about 30k blood, which is not bad with just having them run as it is, and it wasn't a complete cast either. So her ultimate was always on after the second one, so you can kind of see here the damage comparisons that we were able to draw out of this. And at least for this first trial, Falcia won, but Jeera was not far behind with 46k. So let me continue on here with this clip. For this second example, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the build as is because we already set a baseline. Now we're just going to play with the artifact. And of course, one of our favorite artifacts for Guild Boss is Wailing Skull. So I'm gonna take this Forsaken artifact off. Let's sacrifice the HP. Let's put in Wailing Skull. Let's bring that little shadow creature in and see how much more damage we can do. All right, so again, for this one, I'm just clicking auto. So I'm gonna fast forward again. Let's try to get to the end so you can kind of see. So hopefully made the similar moves, and if it's going to be comparable damage, we should just see like a 1k difference in this. So here it is. After we change her to the Wailing Skull, we're looking at the damage. Now we're doing the comparison, and in terms of total blood, it did not change, but in terms of damage, that's when I was able to boost her up a little bit. So we sacrificed the artifact. We gave her the Wailing Skull. that's when we kind of boosted her damage. So now we have a base. So now we know, okay, for artifacts, Wailing Skull is going to work best for Guild Boss. This is where we want to use. Okay, now here you can see at the top, now I'm going to do something a little bit different here. So what I decided to do is I'm going to put her in a Glacier set, and then I did 2 HPs, 1 critical damage for the right hand side, and then on the left hand side I'm going to do Warlord and try to add HP there. But now you can see the difference now. So now I'm boosting her HP. Now we're getting it up to 86. We bring down the attack a little bit up to 13,000. I do have a crit cap, and I try to match the speed and the critical damage that I had previously. The only thing that we're changing is that we're going from an IR set to a Glacier set, because based on her talent and ultimate, you would think, let's boost her HP, then she would do some more damage. Well, let's see if that is the case in this run with the Glacier set. So just me setting this up. So here we go again. I'm going to fast forward just a little bit here, but you can see that the run is going on just as the others were. And again, she has Wailing Skull because I pretty much did set the parameter that now the artifact that is best for this is going to be Wailing Skull. Okay, so as you can see here, one of the things that I noticed was that I needed to restart because my heroes died, and I was like, well, okay, what's going on here? So I decided to restart again, and now let's fast forward again. Let's get to that 3rd shield, and just based on how I had previously set things up just to do a comparison, sure enough, when this 3rd shield comes on, now remember, the only thing that I've changed is the build of Jeera into the Glacier set. We almost got there, but it wasn't quite enough. So at the end, when I looked at the damage card, I tried to see as to where it was that the deficiency occurred. And I also did, when after this, I went back to check to make sure that they didn't strip anybody. But with the Glacier set, I lost Jeera damage. So I needed to go back and think, okay, to me, when I'm comparing an IR set that's kind of hybrid to a Glacier set that is kind of hybrid, we're trying to boost her HP at the same time. We're trying to boost her attack just to make sure that she does the damage here. At least from what I'm seeing in terms of Guild Boss from these examples here, is that if you want to get the most damage out of her, is number 1 is going to be Wailing Skull, and number 2, you probably do want to build her just as you would any attack-based hero that you bring into this fight. But take advantage and try to get a little bit of HP substats into your builds if you can at all. So for this last example, then I just not said, okay, I'm gonna go pure pure damage build, something that I would bring here to the skill boss. And I also tried to pick pieces here that had HP bonus in the substats because she has a very high base HP and attack that you can take advantage with those type of substats. Then here is so that is that build now that I went, especially with the Soulbone Arcana set, because the idea here was we're activating so many ultimates, so by the time that she gets to her second, the damage by the set should already be revved up for us to do that. So here we are again. We're gonna go to the end, and you're gonna see the damage card here. And then this time we didn't have a problem with that 3rd shield. And again, this is just a very basic composition. I wasn't going for anything too extravagant. And we'll look at the damage card here for this fight here. And that is where got that damage up. Now she's a little bit above Faucia and Nocturne in terms of the damage that they can do. So overall, folks, if you do summon her, if you get her while you're going for Pradius, she is going to be a very good damage dealer when it comes to using her in Guild Boss and Semra. The one thing about her kit, though, is it kind of tells you, okay, you want to get her HP so she can gain some HP, but her damage does not seem to be really thoroughly based all on HP. HP just gives you the ability to survive these a little bit longer. and you want to make sure that you do put attack in her. So try to maximize her attack as much as possible at the same time that you are adding HP, so you can take advantage of that ultimate that she has. And at least from the testings that I've done here for the guild boss, in this example here, the Drake's Chasm, focus for Jeera, focus just as you would build any other attacker in the game. And for other content, that's when you can start exploring as to whether you want to focus more on a glacier set or something that will boost your HP, just so you survive a little bit longer. But there's some different ways that you can build her for the content that you need her to. For Drake's Chasm, my advice would be Wailing Skull above all else. If you have multiples of them, then you're going to rev up your damage. You can certainly use Forsaken if you want to use that to maximize her HP in other content of the game. But for Guild Boss, that's where you want to go. You want to go Soulborn Arcana or IR sets and Wailing Skull. So at least from the testing that I've done, that's what I found. So if I get her into my account and I decide to use her for either one of the two bosses, that's the type of build that I'm going to go for, okay? And just to close it out, in the test server, the Hyperion level is at 0. So everything that you see, all the stats are all truly coming from the artifacts and the gear that I'm giving her. Thank you all very much for tuning in and watching. Again, if you have any questions, please post them down below. I will get to them as soon as I can. And I will see you all on the next Watcher of Realms video. And do remember to hit like and subscribe on your way out.